Game start. E4. E5. Knight F3. Knight C6. Bishop B5. A6. Bishop A4. B5. Bishop B3. Queen E7.
Queen E7. That's a weird one. So E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop E5, A6, Bishop A4, B5, Queen E7.
Short castle. Knight F6. Rook E1. Bishop B7.
Oh boy, it's getting tricky now. Bishop B7, but he still had the knight on C6, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is because I have F here. I can't see anything in my head. I'm just memorizing the move orders. So like C3 maybe? C3, he has a thing on B5. So maybe I can go C3, D4.
C3. H6.
H6. Okay. So the question is, can I go D4? No, because if he takes, you have two pieces on my E4. So I think I need to play knight B. No, I can't play knight B D7. So I think I have to go D3.
D3.
Then I'll go knight B D7 to F1.
D6.
Yeah. So knight B D2.
Knight B D2. Bishop C8.
What? What? Bishop C8? Well, that's weird. He was in B7, right? And he goes back to C8? I don't get that.
Knight F1. Bishop G4.
I thought he might pin there. That's why he moved there. Okay. Bishop G4.
H3. Bishop H5. Knight G3. Bishop takes F3. Queen takes F3.
Am I hitting A8? No, because I think there's a knight on
G6.
what?
G6.
Okay, G6, but I think there's a knight on C6, right? I'm wondering if I want to play D4 or move my bishop on C1. It's kind of scary because if I go D4 and he goes ED, no, I'm still okay there, right? So I think I go D4.
D4. H5.
H5?
H5.
H5. Is that hitting anything? Yeah. How come it's so far up? H5 should be attacking G6. And I have a knight there. No, wait. H5?
H5.
H5. How is... Oh, no, sorry. It's not, sorry. Yeah, H5 is not attacking anything. It would be attacking G4, but nothing is on G4. Yeah, so I've got my D pawn. Let's see, clock.
White, 27 minutes 37 seconds.
Oh, lots of time.
Black, 31 minutes 4 seconds.
Okay, so my D pawn. I could go. Okay, I got D pawn there. I'm starting to lose track of the pieces. So D4 is attacking C5 and E5. E5 is defended by his knight, so we don't want to take that. If I go D5, that would be attacking the knight on C6 and E6, of which there's nothing. So if I go D5, he has to move that knight somewhere. Don't really want to push that. I might leave the tension there. What do I do with the bishop on C1? I don't really want to go to E3. Maybe I will.
Bishop e3.
So e3, bishop e3 would be covering d4, c5, b6, a7. Maybe I should have kept it where it was and played a4. His queen is on e7, right? So queen e7, e7, d6, c5, b4, a3. Maybe I could have put the bishop on a3. I could have played b3, bishop a3. If I'm right, and that touches his bishop, his queen, I mean.
h4.
Okay, so h4, now he's attacking g3, and I have a knight on g3. I can't go to f5 because he has a pawn on g6, so I think I have to bring it back
Knight f1.
to f1. Okay, so let's recap. I have a pawn on c3.
Bishop h6.
Uh-oh. Where did that bishop come from? I forgot he had to... Did he not castle? He didn't castle. Oh, I forgot he's got pieces there. Okay, so he's got... So bishop h6. So that... What is that? What's that diagonal? h6, g5. I gotta do it. This is the only way I can do it because I don't see anything in my mind. h6, g5, f4, e3. I don't think that's covering anything, right? That bishop. e3, d2, c1. There's nothing on there. No, where's my bishop though? My bishop's on d3 or on e3, right? So e3, f4, g5, h6. Okay. And so he has a rook there. Okay. So let's take and then misplace his rook. So bishop takes h6.
Bishop takes h6.
And then he'll go rook
takes h6.
Yeah. What? Just making sure.
Rook takes h6.
Yeah. Okay. So what's going on in the center? What's going on in the center? So I've got c3. My pawn structure is c3, d4, e4. And he has b5, c7, d7. So if I go a4 and he takes ba, does his knight cover that? Knight c6? No, it won't. Okay, so if I go a4 and he goes b5, I mean, if he goes b4, if I go a4, b4, okay, let's try that. I'm just starting to run out of vision.
A4. E takes d4.
Uh-oh. So if I go e5, his knight on c6 can take it, right? But wait, what about the diagonal? Where's my queen? Queen is on f3, d4. Oh, so is he attacking my queen now? That can't be right, is it? No, it's not. Yeah, so if I play e5, is my queen... No, his knight's in the way. But if he takes it... Oh, but he could take with the... Okay, I see. No, but I have a rook there. So can't I go e5? And if he takes with the knight, is his rook on a1 defended by anything? He didn't castle, right? So I think I can play e5, right?
E5.
It's getting very complicated.
White, 23 minutes 2 seconds. Black, 29 minutes 22 seconds.
Okay, so my...
Knight takes e5.
Yeah. Can I not take on a8? Queen takes a...
Queen takes a8 check. King d7.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the a7 pawn moved. So queen... Okay, so... Where did that bishop that was on c8 go? Oh, it zigzagged, right? And then it took on f3. Okay. So I guess I can just leave the queen where it is right now. Because his rook should be on h3. How do I offer draw? Blindfolded. I'm going to try slash draw. Or slash offer draw. Okay. Because I'm running out of vision here. Okay, so what's going on in the center? He took on d4, right? And then I played e5. And then he took on e5. I have a knight on f1, I think. What about my rooks? So I have a rook on the e1, right? Let's just do cd. C takes d4. Okay, well I had to enter to focus. C takes d4. How come it won't let me? I'm just looking where I can type. Oh, wrong thing.
C takes d4.
I'm going to open my eyes, not looking at the board, just going to look at the chat part, because I think I wrote stuff in that last thing, and I want to see if he offered a draw. Okay, no. So I see that I wrote, maybe when I hit slash, it goes to the chat screen. Can someone look up while I'm playing how I can offer a draw? By typing? Maybe you can't. Or what is the command to offer a draw? Maybe you can't. Maybe it's expecting you to press on the buttons. I don't know. And then I gotta look for my drink. I'll go for tea. Dangerous though. Okay. Gotta put it back on the heating pad, which I think is there. Okay. Okay, so I'm losing the picture. I just did C takes D4, right?
C takes d4.
Yeah, still his move. So C takes D4. He has a knight on E5. And my pawn is attacking it. But if he moves the knight, my rook can take his queen, which is on E7. So it looks like I'm completely winning here, but I can't. I'm losing the picture. He has a rook on H3, a pawn on H4, and he should still have a knight on F6, pawn on G6, pawn on F7. Yeah, the queen on E7, the king on
Queen E8.
What was that?
Queen E8.
Queen E8. Yeah, I'll trade. Queen, no, sorry, what? Queen E8?
Queen E8. C
I
takes
see.
d4. Queen E8.
Yeah.
Queen E8.
I should maintain that pin, right? But then he can... Wait, how did he take back? With the knight? I'm going to take the queen takes E8.
Queen takes E8 check.
And then... Oh, you could take it with a king. But I'm still attacking his knight. So I'm going to take the knight next move.
King takes E8.
And C takes... No, D takes E5.
D takes E5.
I'm trying to break 21 moves. 21 moves is my blindfold record.
D takes e5.
Okay. So I still have a knight on f1. D takes e5. Don't I have a rook that can take on e5? So he did knight there. I took that. He still has a knight on f6, I think. But I can take rook takes e5.
Rook takes e5 check. King f8. Rook ae1.
Not the best move, but I'm playing blindfolded.
B takes a4.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, so I have no more bishops, right? Bishop e3 was traded. What about the bishop that was on f1? Where did that go? Where the hell did that bishop go? I mean, I castled. Where did the bishop on f1 go? Oh, that was it rerouted, and then it's on g3 still, isn't it? Or b3. So isn't he attacking it right now then?
Bishop takes
Yeah,
a4.
I forgot about that bishop. He's probably wondering why it took me so long to recapture. Okay, so that bishop is now covering b5, c6, d7, e8.
Rook h5.
Rook h5?
Rook h5.
Isn't this mate in 2? Oh, it's almost mate in 2, except he has g3 played. So he can go to g3. He's making it hard. I wish he would resign, because... okay, rook h5. Because his king is on f1, and he can go to g3. Rook h5. Where did my other rook go? It's on e5, right? Yeah, I have a rook on e5 and e1. Oh, and he went to h5, so he wants to trade? Is there anything in between there on the 5th rank? I don't think so. I think I can go rook... How would I do that? Rook 5? Oh, no, I can just do rook takes h5. I don't think there's anything in between.
Rook takes h5.
And he can't take it back, right? There's nothing on h5. There's nothing, sorry, attacking h5. Oh no, g6. Yeah, so he can go g6 takes
G
h5.
takes h5.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I just have the one rook there. Okay, so what do I have? I've got a bishop on a4, a rook on e1, and a knight on f1. I think that's all I have. Because I lost track of any other pieces if I have any other pieces. I can't remember where did the knight on the b1 knight go? Oh, that went to f1. That's the knight that's on f1 now. And what happened to the knight on f3? Oh, he took that with his bishop. Okay, so I think I only have the 3 pieces. Bishop on a4, rook on e1, and a knight on f1. So he should have... Did he just have a king left? I mean, he can't have much left. No, I think he still has the knight on f6. I think that's all he has. A knight on f6. So the a pawn, can that run? No. There is no a pawn. Maybe I can bore him to death, make him resign. He's not going to resign, and I can't. This is really hard to keep track of in my head. So knight, we have a knight on f1. So where is his king? King's on f1. Bishop on a4.
Rook a1.
It's easier to play this way. And then I'll go bishop b3. Because he should have a pawn on a6. But yeah, I think he only has a knight on f6. It's going to be so hard to keep track of pawns. Playing a game with...
Knight e4. Knight e4.
e4?
Knight e4. Knight e4. Knight e4. Knight e4.
It must be e4. e4, right?
Knight e4.
I think it's e4. Is that possible if it was on f6? Yeah. So knight e4. So what is he attacking there? f2. My king is there, and e4 attacks d2, which is gone. So let's just go bishop b3.
Bishop b3. White, 16 minutes 0 seconds. Black, 24 minutes 45 seconds.
Which he'd resign. Maybe he's watching the stream.
Knight c5.
Knight c5. That attacks b7. No, I mean attacks what? Knight b5 attacks b3 and d3. it attacks b3, of which there's nothing. b3, there's a bishop, but the bishop is actually alone because I moved the c pawn. I forgot about that. So that was stupid to go to bishop b3. So b3, c2. If I go to c2.
Bishop c2.
So he has a knight on c5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so my bishop should be dominating his knight.
f6.
f6. Oh, so knight on c5. Does that protect a6? c5. Let's see. c5. a6. c5. I don't think it does. c5. Or does it? Yeah, c5, because c5, c6, it does protect a6. Okay, so what about if I go rook a5? Can he fork me? Oh god, I don't want to do blindfold forks. Rook a5. Can he fork me? The knight on c5? I don't know. I'm gonna take the risk. Rook a.
Rook a5. White, 14 minutes 8 seconds. Black, 23 minutes 36 seconds. Knight e6.
e6. So I can take a6 now, right?
Rook takes a6. c6.
Can I take on c6? He has a king on f1, a knight on e6. So c6, the question is, did he ever move the d pawn? He might not have ever moved his d pawn. Okay, so I have a pawn on b2, I think, and no c pawn. If I go b4, well, let's just try it. B, C, D, yeah, b4.
b4.
So I have a pawn on b4, a rook on a6.
Knight f4.
Knight f4. This is getting so hard to keep track of. B4. Oh, F4? Knight and F4 shouldn't be bothering me. Rook on A6. See, I can't remember if he has a pawn on D7 or not. So maybe I'll go rook A7.
Rook A7.
Then I'll see if I'll take on D7 if there's something there. I think there's a pawn there though. So he should, I think he has a pawn. Wait a second. Yeah, that's okay. So he has a pawn on C6, a pawn on D7, I think. Pawn on F6, pawn on G6, pawn on H5. No, pawn on H6.
Knight E2 check.
H4. What?
Knight E2 check.
Knight E2 check. I think I have a knight on F1 still. So I can only go one square, which is G1. What? King G1. Huh? Did I play, oh, did I move a knight back to G1? I thought I had a knight on F1. Do I have a knight on G1 instead of F1? Wait.
Knight E2 check.
Knight E2 check. Oh, my king is on G1. Yeah, that's right. King is on G1. So I have to go H1. H1. King H1. King H1.
King H1.
Oh. He's probably wondering why it took me so long to make it the only legal move. I wish he'd resign. Trying to finish this game off blindfolded is no easy task. So King H1. He has a knight on E2. I have a rook. Where's my rook?
Knight D4. Knight D4. Knight D4.
Knight D4. It's so hard. It's so annoying keeping track of that knight. So the knight is on D4. My pawns. Where are my pawns on that side? C pawn is gone there. Knight D4. I think that pawn's gone too. I think I only have the B pawn. Knight D4. So knight D4 is attacking my B pawn. And I want it. So I'll just go B3, I guess. Oh, it won't let me. B3. Do I not have a B pawn? I thought I had a B pawn. I should have a B pawn. I don't think I moved it. B3.
White. 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm in the right window.
Seconds.
Could it let me type in
Black,
clock?
22 minutes 22 seconds.
It won't let me do B3. It doesn't make sense. I should be able to play B3, right? B3. Okay, well, so he went knight D4. Knight d4. Rook takes. Oh, rook takes. Huh? Why? I have a rook. Rook. Oh, that means there's no pawn on d7. So there's no pawn on d7. So rook c8. Oh, what? Okay, if I get one more thing, I'm going to say that this is wrong. First of all, I'm just going to make sure I'm in the right window. I'm not looking at the board. Okay, yeah, I'm in the right window. I'm not in check.
Knight d4. King, knight d4.
Knight d4. I have a rook on d8. Or did I not go there? Did I not go rook d8? Okay, I'm going to open up my eyes. Oh, it's on a7. It's on a7, so I'm going to resign. How do I... Oh, I can't resign. That's a new record, though. 36 moves.
Black is victorious.
Oh, 36 moves. I smashed my previous record of 21. Seriously, though, he doesn't want to resign, you know. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I had a chance, but if I like, you know, I couldn't remember what this rook was. I thought for sure it was rook d8. So let's look at this. Yeah, so I kind of h3. I kind of thought this pawn was on h2 first. I kind of forgot that this was here. I do have a pawn on. Oh, it's b4. When did I play b4? I don't remember that. I thought the pawn was on b2. Oh, and it's a good thing. I mean, he was going to take this as well. Would have been a close game. After he played c6, I played b4. Really? Oh, that's weird. But yeah, so this. Oh, also, I didn't see the double pawns. I thought he had a pawn on g6. So I thought he had a pawn on g6. I didn't notice the double pawns. And yeah, otherwise I did pretty well. I did pretty well overall. I mean, 36 moves. I wish he resigned, but that's still my best so far. 36 moves, almost finished the game.